Keebler. Oops. There goes my fan. So, Dornock Keebler number 6. Going down. I don't even know what the fuck that means. There's only a Dornock Keebler number 1. There can't be more than one. Yeah. Gonna keep it number 1, baby. Love the way that fence is doing the light there. It's a pretty cool stream angle. Although, YouTube, I'm kind of sad that you took away the tracer thing, or the dream filter, where it was like all wavy and stuff. I mean, it still has that, but maybe it does still have that. Hold on. Wait, I have no idea how to turn that on. Oh, wait, you know what? I can only turn that on. Oh. There's green screen. I guess that's only a shorts thing. That's unfortunate. They took away all the good stuff from the live streams. I missed the dream filter, you know. Excuse me. There we go. Now. This is a nice little spot I found out by the tree here. There's not really many places I can go, because you kind of got to play a little bit of fucking hide. I just don't understand what's with people and wanting to show their body on platforms where younger audiences are. It's weird. Like what is the urge that makes you want to do that? You know, like, because whatever urge that is one that's concerning. You know, since it's kind of relevant, the reason I feel like I can smoke weed on stream, let's be honest and say it how it is here. The reason I feel like I can smoke weed on stream is because, first of all, weed isn't nudity, you know. You know, I try not to advocate for it either, you know. I feel like weed is much bigger of a thing in media. Anyways, you know. And at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm not really putting anyone's innocence at risk by smoking a bowl, you know. But by showing yourself, and it's not like people are just getting on here in their birthday suits, you know, but they're doing weird things on here, and that's what's happening regardless, you know. They're doing weird shit regardless, you know. Actually genuinely strange shit, you know. I don't know. Like, What's funny about a guy fucking swinging his fucking manhood around? You know? You know, unless it's like unless it's like a fucking stupid thing, you know? But even then, like I just don't I don't know. Like I didn't like that, you know? Like I didn't even like it at first, but then when I found out he had an OnlyFans, I was just like, "Oh, dude, that's weird, man." Like that's not even that's like blurring the line between porn and a meme, and I don't like that. You know, it's just weird. It's just so weird. Like, but hey, it'd be worse if it were on YouTube. Then that doesn't really change anything about the fact that it's just weird and gross. But like, still, at least it's not on fucking YouTube because it could be worse. You know. Let me not make, or let me clarify. I don't like, you know, view like bodies as like a sacred thing, right? It's not in any way religious. It's just like I feel like, you know, a person's body is more of a private thing, you know? When it comes to like showing it to somebody else, that would be more of like, you know, like but it's not like, it's not like this guy was like showing his body to people, but he's still doing something weird linked to something, you know. I don't know the words to say for these things, but linked to something fucking pornographic at the least, you know, which I don't know. I don't like that. And I feel like it's weird that, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's weird that it doesn't seem to be a popular opinion not to like that. But that's just my opinion, you know. There's a lot of moss growing on these bricks. Definitely need to do some research on moss when I get inside. That's probably exactly what's going to happen. For the most part, in my actual life, on a more real note, I don't really actually think about these things. You know, most of the time I'm just kind of sitting down, either playing a video game or scrolling until, the next thing I'm doing. Which is usually like, sometimes I'll do yard work, sometimes I'll be working somewhere, like a job, but, sometimes I just sleep. At this point, it's kind of in a pretty random place in the way that everything works. But I feel like in this moment, this is when I directly think about these things. Or, because when you're actually going about your life, it's just different. Everything is much more autopilot, you know? It's less aware of the situation, but, you know, but, it does mean that I can't, like, always be more aware of, like, when I want to be, but, I do autopilot life a lot, where it really feels like, I'm just kind of doing stuff, as it happens. I don't know. Feels like there's a lot of motion to it all. And there's cycles and patterns and all sorts of shit. But I think because of the way that life feels, I'll never be able to say that the internet is something that truly matters in life. You know. So it's not even, that's just, to me, that just, at this point, that just feels like common sense, And it brings me a lot of peace, that I didn't once have. But, that was when I was younger and more naive. And I feel like the only reason, like, any person who's just a casual user like me wouldn't do anything because they, I don't know, would only do anything because they were bored. You know. But, obviously it really depends on, there's a lot of different things that qualify as an internet, but, more generally speaking.